Welcome, everyone. I am excited to do a slower paced vinyasa class with you today. For today's class, we'll need something that we can use as a strap. I'm using a scarf. You can grab something available to you. And before we do get moving, I want to share honestly what's present for me at this moment. I won't go into the details, but I'm in a time of incredible uncertainty. We've all been here before. I've been here before. When you think that you're moving really clearly in one direction, and then something out of seemingly your control happens and everything shifts. And those times of transition, yes, they're indicative of growth, but how they're experienced in the moment is humanly pretty hard at times. It's really hard to navigate uncertainty. It's really fear. And an acronym that is something I'm trying to play with right now that I'd like to share with you is simply feeling excited and ready. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to help us navigate what is turbulent or what is uncertain is our perception of it. So I wanted to share that in my humanness, I'm navigating a lot of change. It's evoking some fear. I am feeling excited and ready. And I hope that perhaps you can use that reframe in whatever you are feeling excited and ready for as well. So with that, let's jump right in with our strap work. I like to do this sitting down on my heels. However, you could be sitting down in a cross-legged position. You could also be standing up. We'll use the straps. Start with your hands farther apart, especially if you know that the shoulders are quite tight, shoulder distance or wider. And then think about keeping your core super stable throughout this whole movement within the shoulders. Tailbone scoops slightly forward, navel up and in. The core is strong. And then begin to extend the arms out in front of you. Spread the shoulder blades wide so we protract the shoulders. And then keeping your core engaged and stable is a better way to say it. You'll reach the arms overhead. So what I mean by that is oftentimes the ribs will want to splay out, the tailbone will want to tilt forward. See if you can find that tailbone scooping slightly forward, navel up and in, ribs in. And then you'll just simply begin to extend your arms back. So you might notice right away that you need to widen the stance between your hands in order to slowly complete the circle, bringing the arms down. Keep the core steady and then extend the arms back, up, forward, protracting the shoulders, and down. And then keep moving in your own rhythm. So you can move super slowly. I very rarely encourage people to move very quickly, but move at your own pace. What I'd like you to notice is the portions of the movement that you do want to move really quickly through. Those are the sticky transitions. And then complete one more round. And meet me in a wide-kneed child's pose, opening the knees wide enough so that the torso can rest heavy between the inner thighs. And you can extend the arms overhead, forehead rest down to the earth. Take a moment and consciously begin to deepen the breath. Breathing into the front and the back and both sides of the body. Feel free to stay as you are, or we'll add a little bit of a twist. Keep your left hand where it is, and then thread your right arm through your left hand and your left knee, coming onto the right shoulder, the right ear, the right cheek. You can keep the left hand where it is. You could bring it to the low back, or you might even bring it to your upper right thigh. Wherever you are, every inhale travels up the length of the spine, and every exhale allows that left shoulder to soften back and down the spine. Release the twist, extend the left arm forward, press into the left palm, right arm forward, find a neutral spine, a few rounds of breath. And then when ready, you'll thread your left arm through, coming on to the left ear, the left cheek, the left shoulder, and then finding your variation with the right hand. Just feeling the breath move and create space as it travels up and down the spine. Extend the right arm forward. Allow the left arm to follow. The forehead is heavy. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out the mouth. We'll slowly come all the way forward into a Sphinx pose. So softening the forearms down towards the ground. Bringing the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Your feet are hip distance apart, maybe even as wide as the mat. And then you want to find that happy medium. So you don't want your shoulders entirely upwards by the ears, but nor do you want to be pressing so firmly into the ground that you create tension in the upper chest. So find your little happy medium, pressing through the forearms, gliding the shoulders back and down the spine, lifting through the heart. Simple movements with the neck. Keep your arms strong. Inhale, tilt the chin up. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Inhale, quarter circle, right ear to the right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale to the left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale to the right. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale to the left. Exhale, chin to chest. Slowly bring the neck back through neutral. And then extend your left fingertips forward. And just like we did in tabletop, we'll now thread our right arm under. Your right palm will face down. You walk your fingertips over to the left only the amount that you can keep your shoulders square. And then cross your left arm over. So you're making an X shape with the arms. And then begin to wiggle the fingertips as far apart as you need so that you can soften the throat, soften your forehead down towards the ground or a pillow. The last step, you could curl your toes behind you and shift your body weight forward any amount so that you do feel some degree of opening behind the heart. A few deep breaths. And then we will slowly rise up, back up onto the forearms, finding Sphinx pose. Take your time. Find that happy medium in the shoulders. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, quarter circle to the right. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale to the left. Exhale, chin to chest. Last round. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale to the right. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale to the left. Exhale, chin to chest. To neutral. And then extend your right arm forward. You can come up onto your right fingertips. Then thread your left arm through. Left palm is down. And then thread your right arm over. You can wiggle your fingertips any amount. And then you can choose to use your toes to shift your body weight forward, allowing the forehead to rest heavy to the floor. One more big inhale. And a full and complete exhale. And slowly rise up to Sphinx pose once again. One more full breath here. Exhale, forehead down to the ground. You can bring your palms underneath the shoulders and press your hips back towards your heels. Child's pose, your variation. Just take a few rounds of breath to breathe deeply into the back body. When ready, downward facing dog. No rush to get there. Feel free to pedal through the heels. You could sway the hips from side to side. Your movements, they don't have to have a name or look beautiful. Let them be unique expressions of whatever little parts of you really want to speak. The mat's a safe place to do it. Sometimes the mind doesn't get it so much. We can't make sense of our words or our heart. But we can connect to the body. Eventually finding stillness. Press the palms down and forward, shoulders upwards by the ears. Keep your left leg strong and grounded and lift your right leg upwards towards the ceiling. Use the first few rounds of breath to explore. You can open up the hips, stacking your right hip on top of the left. You can play with squaring the shoulders versus stacking the right shoulder above the left. Eventually finding stillness, wrapping your outer right leg down towards the ground, lifting your right heel high, taking a big inhale. Exhale, step the right foot to the inside of the right thumb, low lunge. Anchor your right hip back, left hip crease steers forward, and then begin to lift the chest, allowing your left hip to scoot forward. Your left glute is strong and engaged as you sink into the hips. So low crescent lunge is one of those things that if you're really passive, you might not feel much, but if you engage your left glute, anchor the right hip back, we all are going to feel a lot. Extend the arms high. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale, half split, straightening your right leg any amount, pointing your right toes up towards the ceiling, lengthening your belly button forward. Feel free to slide blocks underneath the hands if that allows you to lengthen forward. Last few rounds of breath, feel free to stay as you are, or you'll rotate your right pinky toe down towards the ground. Keep your right foot strong and active, and you might even choose to walk your fingertips up and over to the right. Breathing into whatever you feel in the outer right hip, the IT band. Gently point your toes back up, walk your hands forward. We meet in low lunge, bending your right knee right above the right ankle. All right, one of my very favorite things to do, bring your left shin parallel to the back edge of the mat, so you move your right toes to the right. Right knee stays right above the right ankle. And then begin to lift the torso. So we're almost in a warrior two in the low body. Right knee tracks towards the right pinky toe, engaging your right glute, scooping the hips slightly forward, hands to the hips. Take in a big inhale. As you exhale, begin to sink into the hips any amount. Right knee towards the right pinky toe. Good. Inhale, back away. Exhale, sink into the hips. Once more, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your right elbow to the right knee. Left hand can stay on the left hip. We're focusing on gliding the left shoulder back and down the spine. Or you can extend your left arm high. You're welcome to stay here, or we'll bring our left hand to the low back, or maybe even the upper right thigh. With every inhale you take, find length through the center of the heart, the crown of the head. And as you exhale, we're rotating our right ribs underneath the left. Last few rounds of breath for a neck release. You can choose to passively drape that right ear towards the right shoulder, creating space in the left side of the neck. If you're in that neck release, begin to engage the neck a little bit, preparing it for movement. We meet with the left arm extended high. Take in one more big inhale. And exhale, rise all the way up. Good. All right, a little funky to reverse. You'll bring your hands down to the ground, extend your left toes towards the back of the mat. Plant your palms. From the strength of the low belly, step your right foot back to a plank. Exhale, lower your knees, your chest, your forehead down to the earth. Inhale, ripple forward. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A few rounds of breath. Always giving yourself space to integrate. Next inhalation, right leg rises, three-legged dog. As before, you can open up the hips, you can open up the shoulders. Move with curiosity. Eventually square your hips, wrap your outer left leg downwards towards the ground, lift the left heel high. Take in a big inhale. Exhale, step the left foot to the inside of the left thumb, low lunge. Soften the right knee down to the ground. Hug the navel up and in. Lift the torso, rise all the way up. Again, you can be passive and not feel very much, so let's make the most out of this moment. Scoop your left hip back. Right hip forward. Engage your right glute and scoop that right hip forward. Hug the navel up and in, sinking into the hips. Extending the arms high. Soft and steady point of focus with the eyes. Staying with the breath. One more big inhale. Exhale, half split, straightening your left leg any amount. And then you can come up on a tented fingertips or bring blocks underneath the shoulders. Think about lengthening the belly button forward. The forehead coming down towards the toes. That's not very important, not so beneficial, but finding length in the spine is incredibly beneficial for the low back, for the health of the hamstrings and the hips. Inhale, low crescent lunge, reach the arms high. And exhale, hands to the earth. All right, so now we do the same thing on the opposite side. We'll bring our right shin parallel to the back edge of the mat by bringing our toes to the left. Track the left knee towards the left pinky toe. Hug the navel up and in, and lift the torso, rise all the way up. Keep your low body active. So you're keeping the glutes engaged, scooping the hips slightly forward. Hands to the hips. Full inhale. Exhale, keeping the hips open, track the left knee forward towards the left pinky toe. Inhale, back away. Exhale, sink into the hips. Last time, inhale, back away. Exhale, find an edge. And then bring your left elbow to the left knee. Extend your right arm upwards towards the ceiling. With every inhale you take, lengthen the heart forward. Exhales to rotate your right ribs underneath the left. So you can stay here, or you can bring your hand to the low back, or maybe even the upper left thigh. A few deep breaths. And if you did so on the other side, you can lower your left ear, your left cheek towards the left shoulder. Prepare the neck to move. Extend the right arm up. And with an exhale, core strong, rise all the way up. And relax your arms. So you can pivot your right shin forward, plant the palms, engage your right leg. From the strength of the low belly, step your left foot back to a plank. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, forehead down to the earth. Inhale, ripple forward, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe fully. Turn your left heel down behind you so it's more towards a 45-degree angle. And then step your right foot forward from there. So you can also pivot it once the right foot is forward, if that's more accessible. Ground through the outer edge of the foot. Steer your right hip crease back in space. Hug the navel up and in. Warrior One. Virabhadrasana A. All right, so for this, if you find that your left hip is opening up to the back of your space, open your feet wider and then square your left hip forward so that both hips are ideally like headlights on a car. They are pointing forward. Engage your left glute. Ground through the outer edge of your back foot. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale to Warrior Two. You'll turn your left heel down behind you. Arms open up wide. You might need to widen the feet. Ground through the pinky edge of your left foot. Track the right knee towards the right pinky toe. Sink into the hips. Flip your right palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Take a break in your right leg. Keep it straight. Extend your right arm upwards. A few breaths, creating space from the right hip bone all the way through to the right fingertips. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale towards extended side angle. Bring your right elbow to the right knee, and then extend your left arm upwards towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or like we just did, you can drape your left hand in the low back, or even bring it to the upper right thigh. And if you are comfortable in a half bind, you can work towards a full bind, either bringing your fingertips down to the ground or to a block, remembering that our goal is to glide the left shoulder back and down the spine. And then you bring your right shoulder as low as you can so that you can hold for the opposite hand, maybe even grab for the wrist. Wherever you are, it doesn't really matter. With every inhale you take, find length. And as you exhale, rotate your right ribs underneath the left. For the last few seconds, you might choose to extend the right leg. That's for those of us in a half or a full bind. We meet in extended side angle. Bend the right knee right above the right ankle. Extend the left arm up. Take in a big inhale. And a full exhale. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Reach your right arm high. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the floor. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right leg high, up and back. Exhale to half pigeon pose. Bring your right knee forward towards your outer right wrist. You can wiggle that right shin forward any amount. Elevate the right hip if that feels supportive. Take in a full inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, extend forward any amount. We're not here for too long, so find a way to soften. Slowly rise all the way up, back up onto the hands. Curl your left toes behind you. From the strength of the low belly, reach your right leg high up and back towards a three-legged dog. And then you can choose to open up the hips. If Wild Thing is within your practice, you're welcome to create that. Eventually making your way to downward facing dog. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out the mouth. Step your left foot forward and then turn your right heel down behind you so it's at a 45-degree angle, or rather it's pointing towards the upper right corner of the mat. Ground through the outer edge of the foot, hug the navel up and in, and then lift the torso, rise up, Warrior One, Virabhadrasana A. Quite an intense one. Remember, you can widen the feet so that you can anchor the left hip back, right hip crease steers forward. Work to ground through the outer edge of the right foot, keeping your right glute active. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale to Warrior Two. You can widen the stance as you sink into the hips. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Energize all the way through to the tips of the fingers. Flip your left palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Reach your left fingertips high up. So there is little to no weight in the right hand. We're finding length from the left hip all the way through to the left wrist. One more full inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Bring the left elbow to the left knee bends right above the left ankle, reaching the right arm high. You can choose your own adventure here. You can bring your right hand to the low back, or maybe even the upper left thigh. For all the shapes, our goal is to rotate our right ribs upwards. If you can keep that action, you're welcome to soften your fingertips down to the ground or to a block, or work towards a full bind, bringing your left shoulder as low as you can towards the ground. Clasp the hands, and then try to ground through the pinky edge of the right foot as you lengthen the heart forward and glide the right shoulder back and down the spine. You can choose to stay exactly as you are, or straighten your left leg any amount. We meet an extended side angle. Bend the left knee right above the left ankle, reaching the right arm high. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out the mouth. Inhale, reverse the triangle, left arm high. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the ground. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale to half pigeon pose. Added a little cheeky vinyasa in there. Accidents happen. Find the sensation that you need in your outer left hip. Take in a big inhale. And then as you exhale, extend forward, leading with the belly button. Find a way to invite some ease within whatever effort has to be here. Slowly rise all the way back up onto the hands. Curl your right toes behind you, engage the right leg. From the strength of the low belly, lift the left leg high up and back to three-legged dog. Any expression that you choose. Eventually we'll meet in downward facing dog, but it'll be up to you how and when you get there. Inhale through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Inhale, walk, step, or hop your feet all the way forward. We come into a seat. And then we'll lie all the way onto your back. Recline butterfly pose, soles of the feet to touch, knees out wide. Bring your left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly. Close the eyes. Just notice how you breathe. So the breath and presence, it's all a matter of perception. To be clear, all our feelings are very, very valid. They're welcome. And we do have some degree of control. We can choose to practice imperfectly how to meet uncertainty by feeling excited and ready. And then gently, you can use your hands to guide the knees inwards towards your chest, giving yourself a gentle squeeze. You could sway a little bit from side to side. We'll close with a spinal twist. It can be the spinal twist of your choice. I invite you to cross the right thigh over the left if you want to come along with me. And you could bring your right foot underneath the left calf, but unnecessary. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the right and lower the knees to the left spinal twist. You can choose to keep the neck neutral, or you could choose to look over either shoulder. Inhale, bring the knees back inwards towards the midline. You can release the bind of the legs, soles of the feet down to the ground. Take a moment and lift the hips up and down just a few times, creating that sense of neutrality in the spine. And then cross your left leg over the right. The double bind is there for you if you want it. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the left and lower the knees to the right spinal twist. Last few full and conscious breaths within the class. Next inhalation, bring the knees back in through neutral. Release the bind of the legs, soles of the feet on the ground. Once again, take a moment and lift the hips up and down just a few times. Give yourself one last squeeze, one final moment of appreciation. And make your way into Shavasana. Extending your right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to the left corner of the mat. Relaxing your arms by the sides, palms face up. In this moment, it feels right for me to leave you here so that you can stay in Shavasana as long as your day allows. It's all uncertain at the end of the day. So why wouldn't we feel excited and ready for those lines on red? I hope to see you soon.